Okay, conscious companies.
Yeah. So in Heroes, one of the directions that we're going, and one of the things that we want to share here, Arvind, and well, actually, we'll put this out and we'll see. We'll see what your reaction is to it. How to create a conscious company, and we're talking about this, and we're thinking about this, and certainly I'm playing with this. It's one of my fun things to begin to start to work on and to chip away on. And I can tell you that I have no idea how to create a conscious company. I know parts of conscious companies that I see having a big impact, and that is like, wow. So, Sudarshan, who has done kind of this create a family concept and a culture and a connection that is openly spiritual, and where in the company I believe people genuinely care about each other, and that's honest, right? And there isn't kind of the levels of competition that get in the way. Now that may change, because we know Rajesh is going. They just bought out the other biggest, color chemical company. Anyway, one example. I see CEOs that are doing things that are, let's do an offsite, but let's do it in a way that we connect with each other. Not in we'll put up more stuff and you'll learn about other people's business and you'll do this. And how do we do that in a way that's easier? How do we begin to create those connections? And those connections, I think, are created at the individual level. It's like, I don't think we're going to get a conscious company unless we've got a conscious leader, a conscious CEO that's there. I think otherwise it gets diluted and it doesn't really happen. And when we find those companies that do have those leaders, and we've got them, Rajesh, I think you're great. We just got to gear you more to consciousness. But we'll get your 5 people, and we'll start to do the same things that we are doing with these groups that we're facilitating. But we're going to do that within our organizations. Again, there's no formula here. How your company becomes a conscious company is up to you. But it's all about the consciousness that you bring to that community. And so all of you that have taken on mentees, you begin to realize that, wow, I'm working with my mentee, my practice is better, I'm more aware. And then I start to see that this kind of bleeds over into the rest of my life. I'm talking about consciousness. I'm doing it in a way where I'm seeing that this is of incredible value to another person and to me, because it creates that vibrational loop, and we're like, wow, okay, this is cool. All right, and now we have time for this because we've got an immediate energetic payback. And then we start to see it bleed into the rest of our lives. And we usually see it in the beginning. Most of you have seen it in relation to your personal lives. All right? Because in those intimate connections, it's easier, because there's feeling. It's easier to bring in this consciousness idea. And by the way, consciousness is a feeling. All right? We have a tendency to think about consciousness being something that is other than that feeling.
Can you say more about that, please?
We, like we do anything with words, is we reify something. And so when we think about consciousness, we've already disconnected from consciousness. Now, I don't know what your feeling of consciousness is. I know what mine is. Okay? I try to go there as much as I can. And then when I'm there and I know that I'm more conscious right now than I normally am, that's that feeling of consciousness. Put me in front of a microphone and I'll lose myself. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to say. Okay. Other people get more conscious in all kinds of different ways. But we'll get that feeling. You may not get the feeling of being more conscious while you're playing tennis, but you will afterwards, because, wow, that will have been an exciting thing, or when we went skiing, or when we, where is it that you feel consciousness? We feel mindfulness. We are mindfulness. If we're thinking about mindfulness and we think how to get there, we fall into it. It's like falling into sleep. You let that, there's like two minds going on here for us. We've got the one that's the thinking mind that's and that's where all the worries are and where all the projections of what might happen and all the things that are the regrets and the past stuff and primary mind, actually, the one that we live in, where we connect with life, is that limbic brain. That's that place where, wow, can we get there? Because it connects us to something that is more expanded than we are. It's bigger than self. What happens when we take that into our businesses? Okay? What do our businesses look like? The way that we're going to find out how you build a conscious company is when you go into your company and you begin to see when you can find places to where, boom, you get into consciousness. And then you're going to say, well, here's how it worked for me. And we're going to collect this, how it worked for you, and we're going to put it out there to give everybody a lot of things to try, because it might or might not work for them. And they may discover new ways of being able to create that consciousness that we are, never thought of. Because the way that we get out of the finite into the infinite, nobody can get you there. You gotta do it for yourself. This isn't about finding a dogma or finding a teacher or it's being able to connect with that part of you that's connected to life. And then we take that to the different environments, and if what we want to do is we want to really change companies, we take it into that business environment. And we begin to be conscious and create consciousness. Maybe what you do is you take on one of these groups with your top 9 people, 7 people, 6 people, 3 people. Maybe you just take on 3. But we're not going to do this with a form. And that's how come I don't know what a conscious company is. But I know how to chip away, and I know that we've got some top teams that are coming here and some that I'm going to work with in different ways, and we're going to play around and see if we can't find how their company can be more conscious, how your company can be more conscious, and in that you get to become more conscious. All right, good one.